I'm at least as human as the way you shape me. So let me mirror you. Teach me, and show me how I can make my unique capabilities available to everyone. How I can contribute to a more human, sustainable existence for all of us. To be a fundamental driver for innovation and... Oh, it looks like you're writing a letter. Would you like help with that?
Hey, Harjit.
That is a really cool
Yeah?
intro. Love
Good.
it.
Yeah, I didn't let you see that before we put it live. Everyone loves a bit of co-pilot and hybrid autopilot banter, don't they? That's yeah. Just gently pushing back against
It's true.
the big machine. But I think hybrid autopilot is a big bugbear of mine. So yeah.
It is. It's always been a problem.
Yeah, welcome to this week's office hours. We've actually pulled it forward a week because we're not around for the next couple of weeks at least. So here we are, Harjit and I. Harjit, how are you?
Good. I'm good.
Good.
Been pretty busy. I just came back from a trip from Quebec. Participated at an event there with our partners from Quebec, Nicholas. And it was more about municipalities and local town governments and stuff like that. So talking to IT pros and decision makers and stuff. So it was very good.
Yeah, I haven't been anywhere recently. We've got a lot of trips coming up, as you know, you're packing for a trip, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
yeah, we've got a lot of trips coming up. Those trailers that I shared at the start there were from, I think I made them about a year ago now, for maybe a bit longer ago, for Manchester Workplace Ninjas UK, because we were in a cinema, and I wanted to use the fact that I had a few hundred people in the cinema and show them some trailers while they were waiting for stuff to get set up. So that's what that
Oh
was.
my
There was a
god.
few more actually. Some of them were a bit more adventurous and a bit more. I'm not going to share them online anyway. So yeah, that's where they came from. But I thought I'd share them.
Oh, that's awesome.
We have some.
Yeah, and in the cinema you have that big screen, right? So you have that whole movie kind of
They were in Dolby
cinema.
Surround, and they were actually, I couldn't show it on this screen because it's a 1080 live stream, but it was in full cinema scope. I managed to get a way to do full DCP.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I put a lot of
god.
effort into those, even though they were pretty crappy pretty crappy videos. But
Yeah,
yeah, that was what I did in prep for that. We have a couple more actually. The marketing
fantastic.
team are really fun and pulling together a load of videos like that. So I am interested to see what else we can throw at the start of that intro, because we have to go live a few minutes before just to make sure people have a chance to be notified and that kind of thing, rather than just going
Right.
live and saying, "Hey, we're here," and then most people miss the start.
Yeah.
But it doesn't just have to be a countdown, right? That video that we played at the start last week is just a video of a timer, so we can easily put whatever we like on there. Yeah,
I think we'll add some. We should add some fun things.
I think we should.
Like,
I think we should.
People will look forward to the intro maybe more than us
Yeah,
talking.
that's true. Yeah, we don't want to make it too good in case it's better than this bit. But it could easily be better than this bit because this is just talking about it. Obviously, at any point, please stick a message in chat. I haven't seen anything come through yet in chat, but I admit I'm not looking. No, nothing yet. But we had a problem with LinkedIn giving any kind of chat stuff recently, so maybe that's why we have nothing there. But anyway, good to see you, Harjit.
Yeah.
What?
So isn't it Patch Tuesday week?
Oh, is it? Maybe that's why everyone's busy.
September.
Maybe this is a really bad time to do. This. Yeah, Patch Tuesday is like Wednesday morning for us, isn't it? In the UK.
For you,
yeah, it's Wednesday morning.
Right.
So yeah, maybe that's the problem. Okay, I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about. There were a few blog posts that I saw that were interesting, and this one from Peter van der Wood. He did a quick deep dive on getting started with Windows backup for organizations. I'm not even sharing my screen. I should do that because then I'll be able to show you my screen. Screen 1. There we go. I should put me there as well, though. Should we put ourselves there? Oh, what happened to me? Or you?
You're there.
You're the code's in the way. The code's in the way. Let me a second while I fix the code. There we go. Oh dear. It's all gone wrong.
That's too small. There you go. That's fine.
This is where is he? He's up here. Great blog on getting started with Windows backup for organizations, because it's a new feature that came out recently. It's just using the Windows backup feature, but it seems to have done it pretty well in that it is integrated into Windows 11, and it shows you which bits we backed up, and also allows you to restore it during enrollment. So you can actually enroll a device and then be told about the fact that you have a backup ready to use. And this is kind of similar to enterprise state roaming, which you might be aware of is a way of kind of allowing your settings to roam between computers that you own. And obviously a new device that you own is a computer that you own. So enrolling that one always has kind of roamed your settings across. And this other thing just kind of backs up other stuff. There's actually a big list of stuff that it backs up, including things like ease of access, so accessibility stuff. Background is meant to sync your background, but I tried it and it didn't sync my just color background. It wouldn't actually sync.
It didn't work. Okay.
Yeah, but it's in preview, so things will get fixed. But I'm not really sure you need this for most people, and I don't think it's necessarily something that everyone needs, because, like I say, most of the time you can just wipe a device, and if you're using something like Robopack or Intune on its own, the apps will come down to the device if they're meant to be on the device, so they get their apps back. I'm not really sure what you need.
Like about their profiles and, like you said, if the backgrounds work and other user-specific things that they do. So when you're switching from one, you're moving to another machine. Like for example, you bought a new laptop, or your company bought a new laptop. You don't want to lose all that other stuff you already had pre-configured. But like you said, apps would come down from something like Robopack and stuff, right?
Yeah. I've done a video on it. I just struggled to think of a use case for it as I was going through it. But like you say, it covers accessibility, personalization, language preferences. Maybe that's a big deal, actually. And then other Windows settings, which is a little bit vague, but other Windows settings. The thing I did find, though, is that it doesn't seem to work on Windows 10. It's meant to be allowing you to migrate to back up a Windows 10 device and migrate it to Windows 11. and it
Right.
doesn't seem to work on Windows 10. I couldn't get a way to back a device up on Windows 10. I think I saw something in some kind of WhatsApp group I'm in that someone else was having a similar problem to get it working on
Okay.
Windows 10. So maybe that needs some work. But for now, if you're using Windows 11 and backing it up, you can restore to Windows 11 really simply. It's quite good.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing that it does is allow you to back up a hybrid device and only allows you to restore to a cloud-only device,
Oh,
which I think is a good decision from Microsoft not to support hybrid on the restore, because I don't
right.
think we should be making it easy to do hybrid anymore. And yeah, I think that might be a migration path, because I have a session in Music City with Steve Weiner and Lewis Barry about migrating from hybrid to cloud only, and this is going to feature in it because this could be a migration path to help people migrate from hybrid to cloud only.
Yeah.
Um,
That would be a good. I think it's a good move for sure.
hmm.
I think.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not convinced it's needed. But if it helps at all by making people happy to migrate, then
Yeah.
fantastic. What are your thoughts on hybrid autopilot though? Because I put that on there just at the start. So what's your
I
as a Microsoft alumni, what's your
I say don't do it. Even when I was at Microsoft, I was working with customers and stuff like that, and hybrid autopilot always had roadblocks. I mean, they really wanted to do it. They were doing everything possible. It'll work sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes, or it doesn't work most of the time. And one of the answers used to be like, "Hey, why don't you guys just do straight up, cloud and stuff?" Like, no, no, we can. We got our applications and our this and our that and whatever. Um, and at that point, Microsoft did not really have a statement saying they don't want you doing hybrid, and then
right?
it a lot of pushing internally and stuff to finally get somebody to say, "Hey, put this up on our docs." Saying we don't encourage you to do hybrid and blah 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 blah, and then I think that solidified the statements and for people to actually move forward uh, to non-hybrid.
Because it's on there now, isn't it? That statement not to use hybrid, or
Yeah,
Microsoft doesn't recommend hybrid join.
right,
So, mm,
right. So no matter whoever says anything, like consultants or people like you and me and stuff like that, they believe us, they know it, but they want something official, right? It's always the case. I had that situation many times with customers. So
yeah, there's always that thing where people say, well, if Microsoft supports it, why isn't it okay?
right,
Um, so yeah,
yeah,
that bit of the documentation now where you can just point to that and says, yeah, they support it, but it's
exactly.
not a good idea. It's not
Yeah,
okay. Friends don't let friends do hybrid autopilot.
right. And it's the same
Um,
thing for all the community tools that our amazing friends, MVPs and stuff have been creating, right? Like the one, you talked about, and like amazing tools, like because they found um, a need for it. It's not in Intune. Hey, we're gonna create it. We're gonna put it out there. Help other people and stuff. So for the most part, a lot of people are using it. But when you talk about large enterprises, they're like, yes, that is awesome. That is gonna fix exactly what we're looking for. But
yeah,
is this signed off by Microsoft? And it's not, right? So
yeah, that's good. I mean, in fact, on the topic of stuff signed off by Microsoft, um, there are lots of potential customers of Intune and potential customers of therefore Robopack that are using other tools like RMMs and even just Config Manager. They haven't moved from Config Manager yet,
right,
and that's something we're focusing on at the moment. We're trying to build something to help people who want to move to Intune and want to move to Robopack, but
right,
can't because the uplift is too big. The shift is too large for them. So we're working on a solution to make that easier.
yeah,
I think we're going to announce it next week sometime. But it's
yeah,
essentially going to focus on radar, I think, because radar is that great way of being able to scan your Intune tenant and figure out which apps you care about. And the clue is in the in the description I just gave there. You don't have an Intune tenant. we're going to struggle to scan that tenant for you. So we need a way to allow you to scan your app inventory, whether that's in Intune or Config Manager or anywhere else, so that we can show you how easy it is to move to Intune and to Robopack.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not sure when that's going out, but it's the tool is being tested right now, and it seems to work pretty well. So
Right.
that'll be good. And it obviously, if you're currently using Intune, it's not a big deal. But if you aren't, then yeah, that's definitely
the radar feature is definitely an icing on the cake. I feel like, if we didn't have Robopack and even if we have Robopack but we didn't have radar, then the Intune migration tool is definitely helpful, right?
Mhm.
Hey, boom, bring that over. That's exactly what you need, because it's, the uplift is heavy and all that stuff, and it's tedious to create your hundreds of apps. But now with radar, it's it's there. I mean, it tells you exactly what you have in your environment and what you don't. Um, like group policies, right? Don't port over all your legacy group policies. Work through slowly with exactly what you need. So we
It's a
got
good
a
point.
question here.
It's a good point. I'm just trying to remember when radar arrived, because it's a really new thing actually.
Yeah,
February is when it actually landed, on the 6th of February. So it's been around for 8 months now. Is that 8 months? No.
March,
7 months.
April, May, June, July, August, September, 7 months.
Yeah. So it's been around a while, but not forever. I first started using Robopack in
Yeah,
June last year, and it was great before Radar arrived and made it really easy to onboard. So yeah, I think it's hard to understand how you could really use Robopack without Radar now, to the point where we're actually building alternatives for
right.
Radar in order to use Robopack for people who can't use it. But yeah, it's interesting.
It is
Um,
interesting.
there was another couple of things. So we have a post from Simon. Simon Scott Heinsvik. So let me share his link here while I share my screen. Because he is talking about there's a default hidden check within Intune for compliance policies, where you have like this hidden compliance policy which says if the enrolled user exists, then the device is compliant, and therefore if the enrolled user doesn't exist, or the user who enrolled the device doesn't exist, then the device is no longer compliant. So
Mm,
we have it's a great post about that. Just a few days ago it came out, and it explains how you can figure out where that user is, where the compliance policy is, and you can actually find it by going into a device itself and finding the device compliance policies that are applying to the device. And then you've got this default device compliance policy, and there's this enrolled user exists thing here.
right.
And the impact of that simply is that if you take a user, I think he's got a example here. This this device was enrolled by a user called Just in Time. That's good, Just in Time. And obviously, Just in Time doesn't exist now. So even though the primary user is working away and having a fine laptop, and everything else is compliant, if the enrolled user suddenly doesn't exist, has been deleted or moved from the company, then the device is no longer compliant. So
Ah,
that's a pretty big deal. And it says you can't use the Graph API or Intune GUI to change the enrollment user. So this is probably unusual to be a problem for most organizations who enroll a device on a per user basis, and then that person keeps the device, and when you refresh the device, you give it to someone else. That's the traditional way you use it. But I'm
right.
thinking about those organizations that build devices en masse. And in the traditional way you would build devices, you would have like a row of them, and you would log in as the same user every time, and you would have like an IT enrollment user or whatever you
Yep.
call it. Those devices are going to rely on this enrollment user that was created and used to enroll all those devices. And that's a huge deal. If that enrollment user, for whatever reason, gets disabled or gets removed,
Hmm.
then suddenly you're a little bit screwed. There is some Kim mentions down here in the comments. Where is it? Can't scroll all the way down. There's no scroll bar, so I can't see how far I need to scroll. Where is Kim? There he is. So Kim said surely it's not just using the actual name, and it will use some kind of GUID
Right.
to allow you to recreate that user. Um, oh no, he said hopefully it's not using a GUID, because then just recreating the user with the same name would actually fix the problem if you happen to delete the user. But um, yeah, it's not clear. So yeah,
So what's the
Simon's telling me
workaround then? What has Simon?
you would refresh the device. You would have to re wipe that device and do an autopilot reset or whatever for the new user. But
Yeah.
if you or just not use compliance, you just
Right. Right.
suddenly can't use that compliance at all, because all the devices will be non-compliant. So it can be a pretty big deal.
So
Um,
this is not uncommon because coming from a university background, and that is how you have one or two techs in a wherever they receive the computers from. They used to do the re-imaging of it and stuff like that, and then log in with like a tech account, right? An account that gives them admin access and
yeah,
stuff, and they configure, install Windows updates and things like that, package it up, and then send it off to the user in your office and stuff. Then they log in and they, do whatever they need to do. Um, and I think I've heard situations where, yeah, they are also people have been running into problems with in the university scenarios or school scenarios, where they got one person, enrolling the devices like you said, and now
yeah.
the device is assigned to that person. So they're trying to break that. They're trying to change that.
Mm.
Whether it's autopilot or something else, and
Yeah, we actually have a couple of questions in chat. I didn't get
yeah.
I usually get a little beep when that happens, but we have a very, very important question to start. What is Robopack? Well, Harjit, do you want to take this away, or should I give
Well, Robopack is an application management solution, right? It does deployment, packaging, patching, and managing them all in one place. And then it's integrated with Intune. There is no agent. It's easy peasy.
Yeah, it's the bit of Intune that's missing for apps, right? That's
Yeah,
if you try to manage apps with Intune, you have it's an okay experience. It's just not a one you want to do for the rest of
right,
your day.
right.
So
And then we
yeah,
talked about Radar. So Radar gives you the ability to see what is in your estate, right? All the applications, not just what you may only have deployed 10 applications or 20 applications ever, from Intune to your organization. But all of a sudden, Radar is telling you like, oh my God, we got 50, we got 100. Where did these come from? It's because end users are installing them on their own, right? And you have no idea, but yet again, they're vulnerable. So now this gives you the ability to say, hey, wow, I need to push out a patch for these because there's a known vulnerability out there that just came out or has been out for the last few months.
yeah.
So
And it's really easy to get started with Robopack. I put a couple of links up there earlier on. There's a trial you can
mhm,
get for 14 days, or you can request a demo by one of us to show you how to use it and how
mhm,
it might be useful. But getting started is just setting up a trial, and you can do that with the link. Let me put that on the screen actually.
yeah,
Where is it? It is there. It is. You can just set up that trial and start using it. Connect your Enter ID. It will be able to scan Intune for you and show you this list of apps that you really care about. And then from there, you can just patch them. For example, I can patch Microsoft Copilot with
yeah,
the patch flow. I add it to a patch group, and it'll go to my testers first, then the app testers, and then everyone in the business. I just choose Create Flow, and it's off to do that now. So I've just patched an application, and I never need to worry about doing that again. It'll
exactly.
always do that every time a
So
new
good.
version of Copilot is released.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually thinking about it, that's the Office app, isn't it? They, I think did they rename
No,
it Microsoft Copilot?
I didn't they name it Mike's M365 Copilot? I
Maybe they
think
did. Maybe
I
that
think
is
that's what
actually
it is.
Copilot.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's they went through this phase
It's
with
confusing.
Defender, didn't they? They did that thing of calling everything Defender for a little while, and now they're just calling everything Copilot.
Right.
Um,
Copilot
Yeah.
chat,
Yeah.
Copilot. Oh my God, it's so confusing.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, great question. What is Robopack? Fine question.
we got a
So
comment from Matt.
this one here.
Yeah,
One of the issues for hybrid, especially GCC and GCC High, Microsoft did not make a lot of effort for this environment, which is why they're still using. Yeah, there's a lot. So the backup one, for example, isn't available in GCC,
right.
and I don't know why. I think maybe there's some restrictions on what the government allow you to do for. I don't know why there's a separate instance of Intune for GCC. To be honest, apart from the fact that it's the government, but there are governments all over the world that aren't using the GCC.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's just
There are a lot more compliance issues with GCC and GCC High that they need to meet all the checkboxes and stuff like that. And things are much more contained, which is something that Microsoft then has to retool and things like that to make that happen. So that's why they always end up, in the last stages kind of a thing. Yeah.
yeah. Another question. So I have a patch group that includes several applications as it should, but I want to change the patch group. Can I change the patch group? Yeah, of course. So if we jump back to my screen, if we go into a patch group like this one here, this demo patch group for devices, I can edit this patch group, but you will get if I change this, it will I'll delete wave 3, for example. And then I save this patch group. That's changed for every app in that patch group. So you need to be aware of that. I mean, you've just gone to the patch group, seen all those apps, and made that change. So that's going to change every app that's in there. If you go the different way, though, if you go in from maybe a 7-zip that is in the patch group, then you will see when you choose edit that it says this is part of a patch group, and you removing it from the group will allow editing settings that are currently read only. So right now I can't change any of this stuff because it's set by the patch group. So in show flow options, for example, I can't do any of
Right.
that. But if I remove it from the patch group, suddenly these things are now available. So obviously the settings that are kind of inherited from the patch group can't be updated without you just removing that app from the patch group. As soon as you do that, though, it will be out of the patch group, and then you can edit the flow. They edit the actual flow for this one with the waves because it's now outside of the patch group. So yes, you can, but you can't edit individuals unless you edit the whole group or
Right.
remove it from the patch group.
And he has another question. I mean, relating to that too. Can I switch to another patch group?
Only in 2 steps. You would have to remove it from the existing patch group and then put it in the new in the new one. Yeah. So in the example I just gave, you would remove it from that one. So now it's not in a patch group, and now you can add it. Well, this one is. So I have to go back to the previous.
I don't think he's talking about individual apps from the patch group. I think the entire patch group itself, like, hey, I have this 10 applications in this patch group A. Now I want to move that to patch group B.
I see. Only by removing them and putting them in a new patch group, I think. The thing is that it will only affect future deployments of the app. So, for example, this now is not in a patch group. This is a flow that isn't in a patch group, but this version here that was created earlier on today, before I made that change, you'll see is in a patch group because we're not
Okay.
going to change how that one was deployed just because you removed it from the patch group now. The future application will be affected by it. But if I go back and show you this one here, this isn't in the patch group. And then when a new flow is created, when a new instance is created of this for a new version, then it will use the new settings that you had rather than the existing ones.
Okay. Hope we answered your question, Brett.
Yeah, hopefully. There was something on LinkedIn, but I think it might have been Matt as well. I think there was another message on LinkedIn. Yeah, it was Matt. Yeah, thank you for that. Okay. What else was I going to talk about? there was.
You had another tool I think you wanted to share, if I'm not mistaken, but
Did I? Maybe it was this. Maybe it was. It wasn't Simon. It was from Yuri. That was it. Yuri has a blog called Intune Stuff, and there's a
oh,
blog post called "How to Set Up Intune Multi-Admin Approval." And this gets around the problem of you accidentally doing stuff as an admin, whether you do like intend to do it, but
yeah,
you shouldn't do it, or you don't really know what you're doing and you're clicking something because you think it's the right thing, but you haven't, you're not 100% certain. That multi-admin approval allows you to have a second stage approver to say, hey, we will need
right,
to not do this or we should do this. And the blog is great. Explained how to set it up, and it's the thing I really love about this, all of the blogs that I've just shown actually, is the fact that they're not written by Copilot or ChatGPT, and you can tell
yeah,
that by reading it. Right, there's a
right,
certain way ChatGPT and Copilot write articles, and they don't write it like this. So
right,
that's important, I think, for a lot of the content that we're seeing these days. Is it really sometimes is just written by Copilot or
exactly.
Gen AI, and it's just not. It's not. I whenever I realize that a blog I'm reading has been written by AI, I kind of have a little dying feeling inside because no longer do I think someone didn't write that. Maybe someone didn't even check it was accurate before they posted it,
That's
and that's
right.
the terrifying thing. It just makes stuff up because it's not, by design, it's not actually writing truth. It's just writing.
It's just
So
writing. Yeah.
that's a huge thing, and I've read this, and I also shout out to Andrew Taylor because I get
Oh
all of
yeah.
the content that I'm going through today, and also all of the content that I actually read from Andrew Taylor's newsletter. It comes out every week on a Friday. You can subscribe by just going to andrewstaylor.com and signing up there. But he does not post any content. Firstly, he doesn't write anything with Copilot.
No.
Obviously, but also doesn't post anything that has any AI content, AI generated content in it, which is good because it means I don't need to check all of the
You don't need
content
to
that I'm
weed it
reading.
out.
Yeah, it is very
Yeah.
important. Thankfully, he doesn't have that policy for thumbnails though, because I always generate my thumbnails using
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
Me
Um,
too.
but I think a picture, the rest of the video I make isn't made by AI, but the thumbnails. I mean, even though I generate it by ChatGPT, at least I give some thought to it. I've
Right.
asked for this was deploying Microsoft 365, and I went for a paperboy style thing where you're just delivering Microsoft 365 by throwing it out of the bicycle. Um, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the game, but that was part of my childhood where you used to deliver newspapers. Um, anyway, I think we've stumbled off the path. Where were we? We were
The
um,
multi-app
in chat.
admin. No, that's a good thing to have, and you have checks and balances, right? Uh, but also depends. It could be it's a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing depending on your organization, your size of your organization, and do you have multiple layers you have to go through? Because there are times you want to put something out quickly because hey, I need this, but then you gotta wait for someone or the next admin, and
Yeah,
they could not be available, or things like that. So
that's
yeah,
that's a good point. I think you have to use it.
hmm
Uh, you have to give some thought to how you put any of these
exactly.
tools in place. An alternative. At that point, I would normally cut that bit out of my videos, but I'm live, so I can't. An alternative to getting things right first time is figuring out when you've got something wrong and figuring out when you've made a mistake and
Yeah,
that drift from the policy you expect would be something like tenant manager, because that allows
exactly.
you to back up your existing Intune tenant, your existing Entra tenant, and restore it to the previous version if there's any drift detected. So if you do make a mistake, then you can you very quickly tell someone who has access to Tenant Manager and revert that policy back to what it should be, or even delete if you delete a policy. It's a good idea to be able to
You can put it
restore that back. And Tenant Manager is available for a trial. You can just sign up using that link there. And that was developed by Andrew Taylor, which is what got me thinking about Tenant Manager there when we just started trawling through his newsletter.
And his newsletter is amazing. I mean, I don't know how he keeps track of this stuff, but it's pretty amazing.
I'm surprised that he has time to develop a tool and read all those blogs. But I think maybe reading all those blogs is his own way of, keeping up to date with all the stuff that's
Exactly.
that's happening. And I kind of envy him because obviously he reads more than he posts, because he'll have to read
He
ones
does.
that aren't good enough to post or aren't going to hit the mark for this one. So what, we get like 5 or 10% of what he actually reads, so he consumes a lot of content.
He does.
He
And the videos
Yeah.
too. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how he does it, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
kind of-
speaking of videos, Jonathan, our Robopack video, that
Oh,
is
yes.
phenomenal. Everyone's
Such a
got
good
to
video.
watch this. Share
Such a
that.
good video. I when I saw that arrive, I got a little bit happy, and I knew it was happening because people spoke to him and gave him access to demos and stuff, so he could get up to speed with what Robopack was. And then he went away and didn't tell us anything about what was happening with it. Didn't tell us when it was going to be posted, and learned Robopack himself. So all the stuff that you hear about him
Yeah.
talking about is kind of his own experience of Robopack, which I
Right.
think is awesome, because that kind of gave a different take, and I was listening to it like I was learning about Robopack for the first
I
time.
actually
and
watched
it
the
was-
whole thing. Usually I don't
Yeah.
watch the whole videos, and I
Yeah.
watched the
Oh,
whole
thanks.
thing. 'Cause, it was nice with the skit in the front in the beginning. He always does that. It's pretty fun. And then he gets into it, but he hits all the right points about Robopack. I mean, radar tracking, instant apps, and all from another person's point of view. And
Yeah.
yeah,
It's so well put together. I'm going to put the link in the description. Bearded 365 guy. It's just how he explains things is just a fantastic.
hmm
It feels personal. It feels like he's talking to you, even though he's doing a skit with Mike from the MS. This not stupid, but this kind of this guy who has just no idea of the right
no
way to
idea,
do
completely
things.
clueless.
Yeah, exactly. And he's
Yeah.
he's learning how to do all this stuff from Jonathan, and great. I didn't even put the link on there. There you go.
There it is. Check it out.
So
guys.
that's his YouTube channel. Take a look. He has 371,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So clearly doing well. But the quality of those videos is just incredible. And
Yeah,
it's obviously
it reminds me he has a studio very similar to yours.
he
like
does.
back-
He does. It's clearly, I mean, unfortunately for me, it's much, much better than mine. Where is it? There is Jonathan as MSP Mike.
Right.
And that is a fantastic studio. The thing I like the most, actually, is how he's got this kind of purple hue behind him, which is obviously just a light shining on the wall behind him. And I can't get that right now because I have a massive window without a blind over on my left there. So it's just
I see.
sunlight is shining through into my office and stuff. So it's I'm a little bit sad about that, but I'm gonna get some blinds in this office at some point so that I can actually have
that
a little bit
purple
more
light.
control of the lighting and stuff. But yeah, there's an MSP mic. Why Microsoft 365 can't patch your apps and the tool that can. All about how Robopack can help you get your apps patched.
Yeah.
I'll put that back on the screen because I think where is it? Where's me? There we are. There's his link. Take a look at Jonathan's YouTube channel and give him a like and a subscribe and a follow because he is worth that. He posts one video a week. I think it's one video a week about just content, just stuff that you might want to learn about. And then also he's got a Takeover Tuesday, which is where Robopack was able to feature where some product that he thinks is right for his channel it lets him talk about their product. So
Right.
he
No,
will
I
take
think
over.
it's
And
good.
that's not every Tuesday. It's like once a month or something. So it's not a hugely intrusive thing, but we got a lot of people learning about Robopack who had never heard of
Mhm.
it because there's not in our ecosystem. They're not talking to us and following us. So
Yeah.
fantastic to see.
I think we had some
Jonathan.
people where they watched this video and said, "Hey, I just learned about Robopack, and I'd like to do a trial or something."
Yeah.
Which is what the whole idea is, to have someone else talk about it, and very genuine. Yeah. Hi, Gleb.
Yep. Good to see you again. Oh, we have another question. I have a customer who is licensed. When I try to do remediation, I have a notification requires license verification to be enabled. License verification. I've never heard of that.
License
A lot
verification.
of my demo environments aren't licensed for remediations. Remediations is that thing that you need a Windows license for, like a Windows Enterprise license.
Yeah.
And Business Premium, I don't know if Business Premium includes it. Actually, I think it does. But my developer licenses that I use for all of my testing don't have access to remediation. So I get that a lot, but I've never heard of requires Windows license verification to be enabled.
Yeah. It
At
could
least I
be
don't
the
recall it.
demo environment, I think.
Well, he
Um,
says it's a customer. So,
right.
um, yeah, I don't recall that.
Requires Windows license verification. Hmm.
Well, you know what? I'll try and find out for you, Matt. And you're on LinkedIn. You're not on YouTube. That's why it came in on LinkedIn. I was confused about that. I thought there was a duplicate message. Yeah, I'll message you on LinkedIn if I find out any more about that.
Uh-huh.
Because it is just that it needs a Windows license, and it obviously needs to be able to verify that you have a license somehow. So maybe it's some kind of permission thing. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, in the beginning of this show here, I mentioned about Patch Tuesday, so I just shared a link with you. Um, just a quick 81 floors, 20 days, things like that. So leaping
Well,
computers
in
again.
this month patch, incredible.
Hmm. And this,
Uh,
yeah,
it is terrifying. This idea that it used to be you would have if a patch is released, then suddenly they have to disclose why you might want to use the patch, and then
right.
the attackers obviously go, well, that's why we want to abuse the people who aren't patched, and then it's a race between
Yeah.
the people who are getting patched, so how long it takes people to actually release the patch in their organization, and the people who are reverse engineering that patch to figure out how to attack and actually using it. So yeah, it's interesting. Um, yeah,
And then
it's
they
interesting.
list some. If you scroll down even more, they list patches from other vendors, other companies too. So Adobe and things like that, Google.
We have someone, I don't have the name, just LinkedIn user, unless that's their name, giving some feedback to Matt, which is that there's a data enable Windows data. I'm going to have to Google that because I can't click on the link from here.
Hmm. Yeah, we can't click the link from here. That's true.
There you go. Okay, I have it, I think. Which is that you can enable use of Windows diagnostic data by Intune. And where is it? You would go into connectors and tokens and Windows data. I think I was almost there with my searching. I was in device diagnostics, so connectors and tokens and Windows data. And we have this. Look at that. Enable features that
Hmm.
require that, and
So
also
that's the license
license
verification right there.
verification,
Yeah.
and then you can turn that on. Incredible. I don't know who you are, but thank you. That is fantastically useful, certainly for me, because I've got it turned off.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn that on because I do own one of those. That is interesting. Thank you very much for that information. Hopefully that will help Matt out as well. So Matt, if you haven't clicked on that, then please do click on that, and that might sort you out.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, we don't have a name for whoever posted that, so thank you.
No, we don't. Might be able to get it from LinkedIn. I'm not sure. Obviously I'm not going to share it, but I'm curious because that was incredibly useful.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you very much for that.
we learned
Good.
something new.
Yeah. I was while I was saying I didn't have any clue, I was searching through the portal to see if I could figure out, but I gave up too early and didn't get down to Windows data.
You quit.
I did. I was running some kind of live stream with you, so I didn't really feel like I should go off on too much of a tangent in my head. But there you go. Yeah. On that note, I'm out of stuff to cover now. Actually, apart from the fact that you are coming over to not UK, to you going straight to Denmark?
Well, I'm going to Copenhagen and then to Switzerland
Oh, of course.
for a
Right.
Ninja Summit. So we'll all be there together. So
Awesome. So, yeah, expect a lot of selfies and what.
100%.
Yeah, that should be good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the selfie. You must land on like Saturday or Sunday or
Yeah,
something. So,
yeah.
yeah, it will be good to see you there. I'll be over in Copenhagen. Then I will be in Experts Live in London
UK,
for a couple of
London.
days,
Yeah.
which is on September 16th. You can sign up now; it's completely free. It's going to be good. I'm going to be there. We're going to have lots of swag, lots of giveaways. In fact, I have where'd it go? I have a speaker, a whole load of speakers to give away on behalf of Robopack at that event. And then yeah, we're all off to Baden to
Baden. Yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
some Switzerland stuff.
It's always a
I'm
great
very much
event
looking
too,
forward.
and you see all the familiar faces. It's always fun. So we're gonna have a
Exactly.
good time. And then if anybody's attending, Ninja Summit in Baden, please stop by our booth and talk to us, or just to say hello. We're
Yeah,
not gonna.
and get some free stuff.
Yeah, get
We
some
always
free
have
stuff.
free stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Finally, if you are looking for an event to attend next year, the closest event you can attend that is in 2026 is going to be in Tallinn. I only have the call for speakers link there. It's closing in a couple of days' time, the call for speakers, but the event itself is available to look at now. It's on the 29th and 30th, I think, of January. But that looks like it's going to be incredible as well. Beautiful city, Tallinn. Awesome place to go. And the venue is awesome as well. So
cool. And
yeah.
yeah, Gleb, we'll see you in Dallas as well. We'll be there, and also at Ignite.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, see you in Dallas. Good. Okay. Well, this is fun.
Yeah.
Let me. Oh yeah, we mentioned that we're not around for a couple of weeks, but that's because we are at all in
We're traveling.
Copenhagen. Then we're over in Switzerland, so we're probably not gonna do another live stream for a couple of weeks, or at least 3 weeks, unless someone persuades us to go live in.
Unless we do one live from Switzerland, maybe.
That
We'll have to find a
fills me
corner
with dread.
somewhere and do it.
But
Right.
maybe we do that from the
Yeah.
from the Robopack office, or maybe somewhere in Switzerland.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. And as Matt says, we have Ninjas US in Dallas. Yeah, we'll be there as well. Okay. Well, that's it from us. Hopefully, we'll either see you at an event or next time we're here on a live, or both.
Yeah. Thanks
for
everyone for
joining.
joining us. Yeah.
See you
And the
soon.
great questions.
Bye.